It's a question to the Minister as to the measures taken by her department to ensure that subcontractors used on school construction sites are in compliance with the law and agreements concerning paying conditions, in particular the use of so-called bogus subcontracting to enable minimum wage and other legislation to be subverted, and that RCT1 contracts are not being abused to undermine wages and conditions, and in particular her view at the strike taking place in Lucan with the company Rhatigans.
Thank you very much, Minister.
Thank you, Concorla. All school building projects which are funded from public monies are required to use the forms of contract provided under the Capital Works Management Framework, which includes a suite of public works contracts, standard conditions of engagement, model forms, suitability assessment questionnaires and guidance notes published by the Office of Government Procurement. As the Deputy is aware, my department appointed Contractors Administration Services, CAS, commonly known as CAS, to conduct random audits on school building projects. CAS have been requested to carry out a full monitoring service for the duration of the contract at the school in question. Should irregularities be uncovered in terms of non-compliance with relevant employment law, and law enforcement and prosecution falls under the remit of NERA, and my department will report any discrepancies found to it. If the audit uncovers any other matters of concern regarding tax compliance or social welfare fraud, such matters will be referred to either the Revenue Commissioners and/or the Department of Social Protection as appropriate. I met with all unions representing construction workers involved in the delivery of my department's school building programme, including officials from Unite, late last year.
Thank you very much, Deputy Murphy.
Thanks. Could I ask the Minister, how long is this investigation going to take place? I mean, with a strike now going on almost 4.5 months, this is not a minor company. Rhatigans, I think they won about half of all the education projects, school building projects awarded in the last phase. It's one of the top 100 companies in Ireland. It's one of the top builders in Ireland, and we have evidence to suggest that workers in effect on that site are being paid €5, for which they're now on strike for 4.5 months. I mean, is a Labour Minister going to stand over that situation? Is there not a responsibility to ensure that where state contracts are being carried out, that at the very minimum, the minimum wage legislation is enforced?
Thank you very much, Minister.
Well, first of all, I have engaged in discussion with Unite in particular on that specific issue around how much they were paid, and I think that's probably a slightly simplistic way of describing it, but anyway. Just to say that in relation to the ongoing dispute at the site, I understand that both parties have attended a Labour Court hearing, a Construction Industry Dispute Tribunal hearing, and have also attended a Labour Relations Commission hearing. I have written to both parties and urged them to engage meaningfully in talks with a view to reaching a resolution. So, they are using the state apparatus in terms of disputes such as this, and that is the appropriate way in which to address the issue.
Deputy Murphy, final supplementary.
Just again, how long the investigation that you referred to would take place. In terms of how much the workers are being paid, I mean, it's a simple matter. You add up the hours that they've worked, you add up the amount of payment that they got, regardless of what they refer to, and you work it out, you divide it in a simple mathematical equation, and you end up with €5 an hour. Massive exploitation taking place. 14 workers on strike for 4.5 months in a very difficult circumstances. A company which isn't paying its taxes as a result of this kind of fraud, and yet, I mean, when the next round of building projects come up, are they going to be eligible to apply again? Will we go through the same circumstance again and again? Can we not, from your department, have rigorous enforcement to ensure that anybody working on school construction or any state building projects is properly paid according to the law?
Well, that's absolutely the determination of my department, and that's why we report anything that we consider to be untoward to the various relevant authorities. Just to clarify, the CAS audit is being continued, and it's a full monitoring service for the duration of the contract. And just in relation to the €5 an hour, I mean, it's not straightforward employment. This is not straightforward direct employment where people are paid by the hour. So just to clarify that as well.
Okay, thank you very much. That concludes questions.